One Step Ahead by Lundquist and Beslick.
Welcome to One Step Ahead Radio. Another week, another session. Of course, people around the world are scrambling for answers in relation to latest no tariffs, maybe tariffs, later tariffs. What will happen in our world going forward? Many people are wondering if this is quite advanced or not advanced market manipulation, which will be interesting to follow in the weeks to come. But for this week, we have something different, another topic, which is nevertheless very important, and it's related to artificial intelligence, using artificial intelligence as a driving force for education and evolvement, I would say, of the way how we can help people to learn things. And for that reason, we have invited a guest today. Eric Francia is a CEO of Uniplay, one of the companies in this space that is trying to address, in many ways, this challenge, but also business opportunity. Eric, welcome to One Step Ahead Radio.
Thank you. Really great to be invited. And as you say, we live in a really complicated world. And but I think the question we are talking about have some relation with that. I think learning is actually something, it's a platform to also to change, a platform also to understand. And when people learn, also people are being better also to understand the world, even in a complicated world.
Eric, this will be a very interesting conversation. James, again, I mean, of course, as every week, welcome to One Step Ahead Radio. I'm not welcoming you anymore because you're a host, as I am.
I can welcome you then.
Yeah,
good morning,
thank you.
Sasja. Hello, Sasja.
Good morning. And we had 3 different locations. I mean, I'm in Tokyo, in Japan, you're in Milano, and Eric is in Stockholm. So this is a very sort of a transboundary session, which is very interesting. So,
yes,
Eric,
welcome
tell us a bit about...
Eric. Nice to meet you. So good to have you on the show. Good to have you. This conversation, I think it's going to be a very nice, refreshing take on what's happening around us and where we can go forward. So it's going to be useful to connect lots of interesting dots as we go through.
Thank you,
Eric. Uniplay, interesting
Yes.
name. Interesting company. I mean, I had a look, and of course, I know a bit about what you're doing. But maybe we start with you. Tell the audience and me and James a bit. Explain what are you trying to do?
Yes, I can trying to do that some retrospective also. I have been working always in company in change. From my first company, I started my first company when I was 18 years old. Always in the intersection of creativity and technology, and the learning part. When you are innovating, learning is a key. How to distribute learning, how to create an interest to learn things, and also to understand the world and understand what's happened. It is extremely important when we are innovating. And my last company, I work with really big companies in the world, and I see a big challenge in learning in the companies. More or less, I think like a paradox. Also, people want to learn in the company, but the companies can't deliver that to the people. And this creates also an unbalance also between the willingness to learn, willingness to understand, willingness to reskill and maybe perform better in the company, and the company's ability also to learn to people also. This is something we address in Uniplay, and what we're doing is to combining AI and gaming also to actually create a broader learning experience to people, because the learning has been the same the last 200 years. It's some guy or girl, in lots of the case a guy, saying something, and an audience only listens, and this is working. And also in some cases you have also text, and you need to decode the text also, and also to be inspiring in that. But this is only for one part of people. Also, the mind and the brains, they are very broad, and you need to give the learning to everybody. and in the way they want also. And companies struggle today, not only companies, I think the world struggling today to learn people things, especially when we are working in this totally world with changing all the time. Learning is a fundament to also to take change and also embrace change and also use technology in the future. If you don't understand, if you don't learn, you will also have a problem, not only as a company but also as like an individual. And today, a lot of companies have these problems, and we are addressing that.
James, what do you think about learning? I mean, this is something that we've been discussing as well in sustainability context. But what's your take on this?
Yeah, no, I was interested just even just in this initial opening conversation about how companies frame what learning is. I was interested to hear, perhaps you can tell us a bit what you mean, what should we be meaning by learning today? Because, there's a kind of a classic idea that people are empty vessels that need to be filled with notions and facts and information that gets somehow sort of plugged in. But it's a very kind of, there's an idea about we need to, it's sort of a technical information, right, that people need to have, and they need to know how to do certain processes or certain tasks, or, right? But I think what you're saying also is like we live in a time of transformation, and also to go back to what you said at the beginning about innovation, connecting innovation with learning and knowledge, the importance of that for innovation. So what do you see as kind of the main results and outcomes of learning in a corporate context today? It's perhaps not so much we need to learn how to do things or certain information we need to gain, but it's like we need to adapt and evolve as people and increase our sort of awareness of where the world's going and how we adapt to that and how we work around that. I don't know, am I going in the right direction on that?
Absolutely. I think we talk about the learning culture also, because a company needs to have a learning culture, and when you try to force people to learn in one way, they're creating a lot of stress, and you're creating also a feeling of not being enough also. And this is what companies facing today. They have a really low learning engagement because the processes they work on, the processes they work with today, the systems they work with today, they are very, very strict and very, very single-minded. They are only here, you need to learn that. And they are supposing that everybody is the same, and is completely the way around. Every mind is different. Every people is an individual and have a lot of past experience, and they know things different, and also they learn different. And this is why we are using the power of gaming, but also the power of AI to give them the learning a special tailor-made learning experience, and not made like the traditional learning, only reading and answer questions. Is more working with the processes you need to learn, or the information they need to learn. For some people is maybe a podcast, and after a game, or another's is more like a graphics, and after you are have an interaction with a game also, and you learn when you're doing things. And this is creating also for us with AI, we can give that to the individuals also in the way they want, and we can start to see, okay, for James, this is the best way to learn, and for Sasha, is this way the best way to learn. And when we adapt that to the individual, we create also another kind of engagement, and this is creating in the end a culture of learning. And you need to have the learning more and less totally integrated in your work.
I think this is so interesting, because what you're saying is that competitive companies need to have learning and offering of the learning to the employees in order to evolve them and develop them as an integrated part of the culture, not as a compliance-driven exercise
Exactly.
where they are staffed with information. And if I understand you correctly, what you're trying to do is to gamify learning processes that be adapted to individual preferences of the people that are supposed to learn things. So, if I was working for a bank for many years, and you have a lot of compliance courses and you have to go through, online things. So in principle, I could have done that through a gaming session if I wanted to do that. Or I could do it through pictures. I mean, the visual things. I mean, that is basically what you're trying to do, if I understand that correctly.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think the power of doing something fun. I think we in some cases, because you are working in a bank, you need to be really strict and boring. Is not true. You need to do things fun, because fun is creating another kind of engagement also, and I think it's also we need to use the power of doing something you like. And I think when in some cases when we're talking about game, people are saying, "Oh, but games is not for really serious stuff." No, but game is not about gaming. It's about doing something for the brain to be more open to learn. And this is why we use game. It's not because we are. I'm a gamer, but we do it because we think it's the best vehicle to come in the brain. And this is not me saying that. This is actually science. It's backed by science. When you do something you like, you will remember more. And we have the ability now to do that because we can combining actually the power of AI and the power of gaming and all the gaming mechanics. And this is why we think we can almost reinvent the way to learn also in corporates. But we start to see also that it's not only the corporate world, it's actually the whole learning world. Because we receive some questions from really schools in around the world saying, yes, we have a problem. We need to change the way we are learning, because we need to engage more people, more broader amount of people also, especially also children and also young adults.
Yeah, I can absolutely connect to that, because I'm thinking a lot about these issues as a parent, having children at school. And as you say, kind of the way even in many schools, learning is done the way it was invented 200 years ago, right?
Yes.
It's very similar to, actually, it's funny to hear what my parents or the grandparents' generation said. Yeah, I did that kind of thing. Realize how it's still there. And yet at the same time, I think about my children going into the workforce in the 2030s, and they'll be working in the 2040s and 2050s. You've had timescales that I struggle to imagine. I think many people struggle to imagine what the world of work is going to be like. So I wanted to unpack a bit this thing about AI, because, I wanted to understand, on the one hand, how you think AI, what particular aspects of it is going to help with this kind of learning, but also in a context where the world of work is going to be transformed by automation and a lot of jobs are going to change radically. So also, what's the role of this kind of a process in helping, the headline about AI, it's going to destroy a lot of jobs. So is this AI helping to avoid AI?
No, I think it's knowledge and learning is the key to use new technology. You can't prompt if you don't know. You be like a AI analphabetic person if you can't use. If you say, help me to create a picture as Picasso, you need to know Picasso. And I think this is the reason learning and understanding the world is actually a vehicle also to use the new technology. But we are using new technology also to adapt and to adapt the learning, and also populate the games, create the games, and also extract data also from maybe old courses and create that in micro learning in our game in our game process also, and also start to see what's happen. Especially for me, we have different games, and I know exactly what kind of games is helping me to learn, to understand. with my own product. I know for me, this is the one part is perfect. The other is quite, I don't know, I don't like it and I don't feel something I want to do. And this is impossible. It was impossible to be done before because there was too many manual work. Now when we have AI, we can adapt also the information to the individual. Plus that we can also extract data and also process data and do it microlearning, and also use the data of all the users to create a better learning experience also with our a data warehouse also where we can analyze, also see, okay, James, in your position, you need to do these things, and we can also give you the kind of courses you want and also understand how you learn.
Eric, thank you. I mean,
Yes.
this is so interesting. Look, I mean, this is sort of a sustainability related podcast, and we've been discussing previously in some of the sessions the challenge that companies have in actually reaching clients and consumers with their sustainability related communication and work, what they actually do. And I just, the scenario plays in my head, which is interesting because I see this as a big opportunity. So, in principle, what you could do is to gamify sustainability communication for a company that the clients could download a QR code and get gamified sustainability narrative from the company, telling them exactly what company is doing and how they're doing it.
Yes.
You see, this is a challenge for many companies because they're actually not communicating really with their clients and consumers. They communicate to stock market and NGOs and so on. So this is a great opportunity for them, for many of them. And when we talk about this, I wanted to know what has been response, because this company, I mean, your company is sort of approaching a lot of corporate clients across the world. And I know there's been an interest from big corporates to use this service. What's the response so far?
I think we started actually. We launched Uniplay in December last year. It's quite. I think now almost 5 months ago, and we have massive response because from compliance, but also from reskilling. I think also from for sustainability, we have different kind of verticals, but also from, like I say, from the beginning, from schools, really big schools in the around the world, one of the biggest universities in the world. We have them in the waiting list, but I want to come back to the about sustainability and what's happened also with learning. I think all kind of change, like I say from the beginning, is based in understanding, and I think like this other process, sustainability is not an exception. They need to be explained, and they need to be learned, and I think to understand the challenge of the future, you need to understand what the basics, and the basics need to be learned to everybody, and this is a challenge for not only for companies and funds and to understand, to learn. They are also a challenge for society, also to see, okay, this is happened right now, and what will happen in 10 years, 5 years, or 15 years. This is complicated for the brain, also for us as a humans, to see the world and do a projection in 15 years. You need to have a lot of information to do that and understand it.
The world is changing very rapidly, and we kind of struggle to evolve and change the way we live and learn and work sufficiently rapidly, right? I mean, it's a real. The advances in technology are so fast at the moment. What I said before about the way the world of work is going to change in the next few years is going to be very, very disruptive. So kind of learning and knowledge is going to be one of the key tools. And what we're saying almost is accessibility. It's a kind of an inclusion issue, because the people who are not going to have that, what's going to happen to their work life or jobs, or whether they're going to find that kind of opportunity when they're replaceable, where their tasks, become replaceable.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm also thinking about this inclusion sort of a thing and accessibility, because what I understand from discussing this with you, Eric, is that you can do this in all languages, basically. I mean, the language sort of a issue is not there anymore.
No.
Is it that you can actually do that? You can do the same educational module in English and Spanish and French and in Japanese. I mean, it doesn't matter, because, and this is
No.
the beauty of it as well. Another sort of a topic. I mean, your company is based in Sweden, which has 70% of
Mm.
energy comes derived from hydropower, which makes your use of your strong AI driven models and computers good. But anything that you think about, because looking at the world today on AI, it's very energy intensive industry in terms of the impact on the climate and energy resources. Well, what's your take on that?
I think we can't go back. I think the human willingness to work efficient is almost impossible to back. We need to adapt and see how can we use the because of course, like you say, it's a cost for the climate, and when we use a lot of energy. But how can we use that in the best way also to create an impact also? If we can, I think if we can change a lot of people's mind, those understanding things, we can give something for the climate also. But we can't go back. We need to only
Yeah.
to use it in the best way also to create the last damage, is what I see. But I think regulations to go back and we are not using AI, I think is not possible.
That's
We
not
need
going to
to.
happen. Nobody believes in that. That's not. It's just it's
No,
a
it's
moving
this.
train. Yeah, it's a
Yes.
moving train. Yeah.
And use the positive force. And I think talking about the inclusion, for us, the inclusion of only to have access is not enough. Sorry,
No, I agree.
access
I
is
know
not
that this
enough.
is.
We
Yeah.
need to also to push the learning in another way. And this is you talk about language, but I think the language of gaming is international. The language of doing things is also, you don't need to have a degree and being in the university. And I think it's quite the learning today is based in at every people, they are like having a degree almost. Now
Yeah.
we need to the access to everybody and to onboard everybody in that. And I think it can create a really a great impact also in understanding also.
Eric, thanks. I mean, what are your key? I mean, you're running it's a sort of a young company. You've run
Yes.
many companies before. I mean,
Yes.
you know the drill in terms of what needs to be done. But what are your key challenges? Your key challenges, it doesn't seem to be that you have a short list of potential clients. Rather, on the other side,
No.
we have a long list of clients. But what is the sort of a key challenge for you right now?
It's like always finding the right people. Also, I co-founded the company with Linus. He's a fantastic person. Also coming from the gaming industry. He's the founder of Avalanche Studios. Also, but finding the right kind of minds also is a challenge also today. And also the people willing to work in the way we want to do our products, and also now it's easier for us to expand when our waiting list is coming from both Europe and Asia and the US. And I think but the biggest challenge is coming up with finding the right persons also, and finding the right talent. And because using AI gaming, and that is actually we are open up, we're changing the way we are working also, and we need to have a lot of people willingness to work like we want, challenge the processes, the old processes with new processes also. And of course we need to expand. For us, is we see the Uniplay as a global company. Of course, we are coming from Sweden, but we're not seeing Sweden and the Nordics like a market. We see like a global market, and we are hoping also to open different hubs in different parts of the world also. But this is the challenge for us. I think find the right persons.
It's all about
to be on board.
It's always
Yes.
about people. It's many people think it's about technology, it's about capital. Yes, that's important, but it's about people, like getting the right people. Yeah.
If we have the right people, the right technology is coming, and the right capital is coming also. And we are working really 24/7 to launch our products right now, and we will test also now with different kind of people also to receive the best feedback also globally.
James,
Eric, I had a little last question for you. Because I imagine there's people listening to our podcast and finding out about this. If apart from getting in touch with you and finding out about your company, but if people were interested in saying, well, what is this different way of learning? Well, they're not from a gaming background, and they say, well, maybe I need to open my eyes and change. What would you suggest that they do? Like one or two very simple things that they could go to, and resources or experiment to find out more. Just say if they're curious. I mean, your waiting list is full of people who kind of already got the right mindset. But if somebody says, "Well, I never really thought about," I mean, what's it all about? What could they go and find and explore and play with?
I think we will open now a open test also for everybody to test with the already finished courses to learn, and we are doing that right now as we speak,
Cool.
to give for free for people to learn. But I think the most important is to be open to learn in another way, and not having prejudged things saying, oh no, games is for children, no, or to be serious stuff need to be done in a serious, boring way. I think the openness is something you need to learn also, and see, okay, but can we change something we have done in the same way in 200 years? Maybe you need to be more to start to see that more from an open-minded perspective also, and also
Absolutely. A playful perspective. You need
playful perspective, and see at the fun in things is actually a really great force, and use this force to create change.
I have so many thoughts after this conversation, and so many openings, so many things happening in my head in terms of what could be done. I mean, this is a fantastic topic, not only because it's a fantastic business entrepreneur idea that you're running, but it's also because it opens up so many other things that I've been thinking about for many years. It's that how do you actually make people involved in this voyage on sustainability and transformation, where they can become a part of that, and where they can actually understand through learning and through education in a fun way what this is about and how they can participate. It's very important. Eric, I mean, I wish you all the best with the company. We are sort of running towards the end. I'm thinking, James, I mean, a couple of last words and a question. Do you think, I mean, you're working with a lot of companies as well on your side, going to a company saying that we can actually help you reach your clients in a very innovative way, and this could be one of these ways. Do you think there is interest for that? In my mind, it should be, but I don't know. I mean, you have a lot of contacts with the companies. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I was thinking not just about the client interface. I mean, also what you're talking about, Eric, in terms of thinking out of the box, taking a fresh perspective on things. People see sustainability above all now like as a really kind of complex, technical, bit boring. I'm not quite sure about it. It's like it was very enthusiastic, last few years, but now it's kind of, whoa, it seems actually a bit burdensome. I'm thinking also of like employees, the frontline employees who face the client, because it's not just a passive client. There's very often, a human relationship there. So what does the sales people and the marketing people and the people in innovation, how do they think about sustainability rather than say, "Oh, I have to read a report to understand it."
Mm.
No, there's other ways we can get people into that set of knowledge and ideas. So perhaps, there is absolutely a thing about the employee engagement as well,
Yes.
and thinking about getting people to understand something in new ways, in different ways, in fun ways.
Yes, we're using trust the fun, and I think is also a way to be more open and also to be more plural also to everybody, not only for these few persons, enthusiastic persons. You need to do it for everybody, and to do it for everybody, you need to be more for everybody and broad up the learning process also, and not being like as a very small and particular way to learn like we have today.
Eric, many thanks. I wish you all the best, and I hope you will get a stock listed in 3 years in New York Stock Exchange, and get a lot of interesting talent to work with you and for you, and also very many clients. For the listeners of One Step Ahead Radio, next week is Easter holidays, and we will have a break from One Step Ahead Radio, and then we will rejoin after Easter holidays. All the best. Thank you guys for participating. James, thanks again. Eric, all the best.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Have a good day.